how was it having to answer or field all these questions, specifically coming from senators like Senator Amy, patungkol dun sa pagkaka-aresto kay dating Pangulong Duterte?
Well, we agreed, the cabinet members agreed that I would be the one to take the lead. So I prepared myself for it. Maganda lang naman eh. It's really a matter of preparing for it.
But what do you think, from your perspective, ano yung na-achieve ng hearing na yun po?
Well, actually, we're thankful we were able to explain kasi the whole time, propaganda has been in the air about violation of sovereignty, maraming mga principles na sinasabi na mali namin ginawa. So yung aming pagpapaliwanag as a welcome sigh of relief for me to be given that forum to explain, if I have to explain what transpired or what are the legal ramifications of what transpired that day, March 11, 2025.
Okay, sige. Isa-isayin po natin yung legal basis kung bakit nag-cooperate yung Pilipinas, hindi sa ICC technically from your perspective, pero sa Interpol. Okay, ano po ba yung legal basis nun?
Well, the legal basis is, of course, the standing agreement and treaty membership of the Philippines with the Interpol. May treaty yan eh. And there are hundreds of member states in the Interpol helping each other track down people who cross borders and commit crimes, or commit crimes and cross borders. So yeah, it's one of the things that we have to say is very important to us because Filipinos are migratory. Maraming Pilipino rin na nagiging biktima ng krimen. Marami rin nagpupunta rito na nagko-commit ng crimes. Kailangan mahabol natin itong mga taong to kasi siyempre the long arm of justice has to catch up with the perpetrators of crimes. And Interpol is very important to us.
Pero paano ano yung paliwanag kasi sinasabi ng iba, miski sabihin na Interpol yung nakipag-cooperate tayo sa Interpol, not the ICC, but for all intents and purposes, we also in effect cooperated with the ICC. Anong response nyo po ron?
Well, the law is very clear. Republic Act 9851 allows us or tells us that we may try these cases ourselves, or if it's being tried by another international tribunal, we may defer to them and turn over the suspects to them. Yun ang sinasabi ng Republic Act 9851. We can surrender the suspect to the ICC or to any international tribunal for that matter. Kaya hindi naman sinasabi ng 9851 na bawal ang ICC. Remember, we passed the IHL law prior to our accession to the ICC.
Okay. Kahapon doon sa pagdinig, Senator Amy was insisting na merong pagbabago, and I think she was making you admit that, no? Na merong pagbabago doon sa policy ng presidente.
Yes.
Bakit? Anong paliwanag niyo ron? Na hindi naman nagbago actually? Or
hindi naman nagbago yan. Kaya lang, it's the realization na ang hinahabol talaga ng ICC hindi naman Pilipinas eh. Ang hinahabol ng ICC is individual liability. Hindi niya hinahabol ang ating bansa. Ang hinahabol niya yung mga nagkasala sa mga tao na nagdedemanda sa kanila. At sa pagkakataong ito, ang mga demanda ay dumating sa ICC laban sa dating Pangulo at matagal na naging usapin to na magkakaroon ng warrant of arrest pero wala nangyayari. Kaya ang talaga dito ay as a signatory, as a country that respects international humanitarian law, I think the spirit of comity with other nations dictates that we turn over suspects that are indicted by the ICC. Hindi naman yun eh. Doon din uuwi yan. Kasi nga, kung di ICC, ang individual liability kasi ICC. Ang ICJ, state liability. Kanya-kanyang ano yan eh. Kanya-kanyang specialization pagdating sa liabilities in cases filed.
Okay. What do you think of the claim of supporters of the president and pati ng mga senador kahapon na nagsalang sa inyo na hindi rin nabigyan ng sapat na pagkakataon to exhaust all legal remedies itong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte dahil ipinadala na agad sa ICC?
Ano yan eh, last minute legal remedies ang gusto mangyari. Which is tactically for any lawyer a last-ditch effort to save the show. Kasi hindi naman ito ngayon lang eh. I think that the communication with the former president has been going on for years na pinapa-explain sa kanya yung mga bagay-bagay. And they have ignored it. And the response of the government then was withdraw from the Rome Statute, di ba? Inatas na natin. Umalis tayo ron, thinking that we will not be, as non-member states, we cannot anymore, as non-member states, we cannot anymore be within the reach of the ICC. Pero mali nga yung understanding natin kasi it's not the country that they're after, it is the individual.
Okay. Hindi ba problema rin ito dahil single-handedly, the former president withdrew us from the ICC? Ngayon, kine-claim ng mga supporters niya, dapat na-activate yung Article 59 ng Rome Statute na pwede sanang napakinabangan niya.
Christian, is the irony of it. You choose to withdraw and then you invoke the law that you withdrew from. Isn't that ironic?
So, yun.
Yun.
Okay.
Kung hindi yun, we go back to 1951. The choices of the state. Either we do the extradition route or we take the executive action route. And we took the executive action route, which is to surrender the suspect to the tribunal that issued the warrant of arrest.
Sabi-sabihin, looking back, pwede nakabuti pa kay Duterte kung hindi niya withdraw yung Pilipinas sa Rome Statute, sa ICC. Tama?
Exactly. Kung hindi tayo nag-withdraw sa ICC, it would have been a long legal process. Extradition can take years. At least 1 year ang extradition. Pero what kind of chaos will ensue if we had to wait for this process to happen? Ngayon, wala na tayong option naman talaga na extradition kasi wala na tayong treaty with them. We're not a signatory of the treaty anymore. And we don't have an extradition treaty with the Netherlands. And the Netherlands is not the ICC. So, ano extradition na pinag-uusapan natin? There's no mechanism for extradition.
Pero from the perspective of international law, meron pa bang silbi ang ganyang petition for habeas corpus? Nandun na yung nandun na yung body.
Well, that's sub judice, Christian.
Okay.
It is what the Supreme Court wants us, made us comment on. It's very simple principle that we have to look at. Is the extraterritorial reach of Philippine law, Philippine criminal justice system. Meron ba tayong ganun?
Sige. I won't venture into that, no, kasi it's a live petition. Okay, pero puntahan natin kasi technically wala nang jurisdiction sa atin yung ICC, pero malino naman sa Rome Statute na kung yung krimen nangyari while the state party was still a member of the Rome Statute, merong jurisdiction. Hindi po ba?
Yes, we call that residual jurisdiction.
Okay.
As initiated by the Supreme Court in the Pangilinan versus Cayetano case.
Okay. Ang tanong ko po, ano pa yung mga residual obligations natin bilang isang state party nung panahon na yon kung saan yung alleged crimes happened? Ano pa ba yung obligasyon natin ngayon?
It's really just a jurisdictional issue, yung residual obligation. But meron tayong residual obligation because as members of the ICC during that time, crimes committed within our territory are within the ambit of the ICC's jurisdiction.
Okay, pero let's say ngayon ililitigate kunwari yung reklamo diyan sa ICC, are we still bound to cooperate? Let's say furnish certain documents or evidence that they might want?
Well, we have to study our position there again. If we will have to do what you said, kung kailangan gawin natin. Pero alam mo, they were able to build a case without us. Sila talaga ang gumawa ng cases without us. They were able, but it took them years and years of preparation para ma-build up nila yung case nila. So if ever they will need our help, it's going to be not as much as we think we are needed because they have managed to secure the evidence and the witnesses, I suppose, for them to issue an indictment of this nature. Okay.
Yung iba sinasabi, I think this was also articulated by Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Okay, nandun na yung presidente. And even the Vice President said, mukhang suko na sila, hindi na makakabalik yan dito. Ang concern yata nila, yung mga susunod pa na magiging subject ng arrest warrant, kunwari, si Senator Bato de la Rosa, ito rin po ba yung magiging procedure tulad ng ginawa dito kay Duterte? Kung sakaling maglabas...
That's why we don't want to preempt the Supreme Court's ruling in the habeas corpus petitions because I think that there will be cautionary warnings given by the Supreme Court. I expect that about civil liberties. But hindi natin actually, it was not in our minds. Hindi namin pinaplanuhan to. Sariwang-sariwa pa to. 1 linggo pa lang nakararaan mula nung nangyari ang pangyayari. And as we said earlier, we had no real notion of a warrant of arrest coming out until it was given to us through the PCTC. You cannot prepare for anything like this. That's why questions like that will have to be dealt with as time goes by.
Yung ganun po bang issuance ng arrest warrant by an international body, in this case the ICC, kailangan pa ba ng local version of an arrest warrant issued by a local court for that to be executed?
I think that 9851 is very clear on that matter. We can turn it over to a tribunal which is already investigating and prosecuting the case. Kaya kasi yung arrest warrant kasi sinasabi natin, that the general rule in judgments by foreign courts is that you have to action to enforce the judgment in our country. But in this case, there's a special law, Republic Act 1951, which allows us the leeway to surrender the suspect to the international tribunal.
Okay. So kunwari nga ngayon, maglabas ng ICC warrant naman against Bato de la Rosa, you would follow the same procedure. Hindi na kailangan kumuha pa ng isang arrest warrant from a local court.
Probably. Unless the Supreme Court says otherwise. We believe that the executive fiat given to us by the law is very clear. Malinaw na malinaw.
Okay. Isa pa sa mga tanong ko, Secretary, no? How were you able to pull it off? Yung smooth arrest and turnover of the former president. Kasi any ordinary Filipino would have thought na magiging madugo yan, of course, figuratively. Pero how were you able to pull it off?
Christian, nobody was happy with what was happening. But we had to do something about the problem. Kaya it was all an earnest effort to keep the peace in our country. Alam mo naman ang tendencies dito sa atin eh. Pagka ganyan, maghahanap ka lang ng spark. May liliyab at may sisindi. Kaya kinakailangan tayo at gawin na natin kung kailangan gawin for the moment to keep the peace and to maintain harmony within the country. Ano naman to eh. Nobody wants this to happen. Nobody is happy. Nobody is celebrating. But it's something that we have to do as a country. Probably the best way to regain the respect of the international community for our country since that misadventure that we had with all of these EJKs happening before.